Everybody, look who it is, Joe Robinson. Hey, Joe.
Good morning, David.
All right, what's going on out here today?
We're going to have another Challenger League game this morning, David. Our Challenger League's back in swing for the 2017 season, and we're having a good time. Like to invite a lot of people to come out.
Tell everybody, what is the Challenger League?
Well, the Challenger League is a league for special needs kids and young adults who can't play in a normally structured league, those who have autism or just whatever the case may be that would prevent them from playing in a regular league. We provide a league, and right now we're in baseball. We also do football and basketball, but we're in baseball, and it's just an opportunity for them to play the great American game of baseball and have a good time.
Now, you've been doing this for a few years now.
Yes, sir. I was actually trying to figure it up, but I think it's about 14 years.
I've noticed, I watch football, and y'all are not easy on them. So, I mean, they're rough and tough, and I mean, they're...
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We try to do as much non-contact as possible as far as the players go.
Right.
But we try to do the tag, and everybody scores a touchdown, and everybody scores a home run. And
it's fast moving, though.
It's just it's an exercise, just a fun afternoon game or a fun morning game, and non-competitive. That way, no kids gets upset, and it's just a lot of fun. But yeah, the football does get a little rough at times. They'll take each other out.
You have a lot of young people out here helping. Where do you find your people?
Well, we've been blessed overall. Actually, in our football program, we've been extremely blessed. Every high school football program has picked us up for at least one game, and a lot of them even do a little hot dog cookout for our kids following the game. So it really is a great blessing to them. We do struggle sometimes on our baseball getting people out, but we've been blessed this year so far. Today we're supposed to have Chris Green and his Team Green Premier Fast Pitch Softball team here helping us, and then last week we had a Baptist church out of Ackworth. I'm sorry, their name's escaping me right now, but I got it on. Right. And then we've had other groups come in. We're going to have Tabernacle Baptist to be out in a couple of weeks, and we got a couple of minor league teams that's going to be coming out and helping us. But we still got some openings if anybody's interested.
What do you need?
Out. Well, we just need able-bodied people who are interested in coming out and being a buddy alongside of our kids that keeps them occupied, keeps them in the game. If a ball comes at them pretty quickly, they can help knock it down to keep them from getting hit or injured. We play with a soft T-ball, so they're not going to get hurt if they do get hit, but unless it's a real strong live drive. And if we have the bigger hitters up, we'll back everybody up to a good safe place to where they're not likely to get hit.
Okay, how do they reach you?
You can reach me on Facebook is the biggest thing, Joe Robinson on Facebook, or my phone is 770-547-6113, or ljr1207@yahoo.com is my email. But probably Facebook's probably easiest. I'm on it all the time with the kids.
Yes, you are. Pictures. I see you out there all the time.
So I'm pretty active on it with these kids and the program. So that's probably the easiest way to reach me. But you can call my cell phone. That'll be fine.
Joe Robinson, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, David, for coming out.
Smith. We're at the TELUS Science Museum.
We are, David, here at TELUS Science Museum right at the end of spring break. We're in front of and looking at, behind me here, a mosasaur.
What is that?
Well, and let me correct my pronunciation, because sometimes folks pronounce it as a mosasaur, but this is a very interesting creature, and I always love to bring it up with the children because they often see a lot of different animals that are combined to make this particular creature. So I'm going to ask, and I'm going to ask you, David, what kind of animals do you think are represented in this skeleton? What do you see?
I think it looks like a big fish to me.
A big fish? Okay. All right. It does have some fish-like characteristics.
Maybe alligator.
An alligator's one that usually comes up. Anything else that you see that might...
The head of dinosaur or something looks like just a...
Okay. It kind of looks like a dinosaur as well. And it is a fish. It's a carnivore. It is a fish.
Okay.
A lot of times people will look at it and say it looks like an alligator, which you mentioned. And then a lot of times people will look at these fins and say that it looks like a whale or a seal.
Okay.
Because it has those kind of pinniped kind of appendages here. Unlike an alligator, when you see an alligator, they have those little short legs and they have little stubby fingers, little short hands.
Right.
So that looks very different here. And one thing I will mention to you about the mosasaur, this particular creature here is actually an adolescent. It's only a teenager. We didn't get the adult skeleton because it would have been so large it would have taken up the entire gallery. So that's one of the reasons we purchased this particular one. And I think this creature here is 32 feet in length. So it still had only about 70% of its growth done. So it was going to get much bigger. So it's kind of interesting how that.
What was its primary source of food?
It was an apex predator of the Cretaceous seas, and it definitely ate a lot of fish. It would eat any other creature basically anything it could find, it would eat. Now remember though, mammals weren't yet necessarily in the water. The sharks were around, and some early prototypes perhaps for some of fish were here, but sea mammals is what I'm trying to say. They may not have been
When
here.
was this on the planet Earth?
Well, we'll step right over here, David, and maybe
Okay.
get a shot of the label. Excuse us, thank you. And you can see it gives a lot of, this is the Cretaceous age, so we're talking about 110 to 95 million years ago is when this swam in the seas. And it says right here the diet was just fish, some birds, ammonites, which is actually interestingly enough, I don't know that I have a large ammonite here to show you. Yes, I do too. If you want to come this way, let me show you. You can shoot right here. This is an ammonite, and these shell creatures would get up to 6 feet in diameter. They would get huge. These were also pretty voracious predators as well. And they had a squid-like organism that would come out of that opening there with tentacles. And so that's what the ammonite is what the mosasaur would actually eat. And I don't know, David, let's step back over. I hope you can get a shot of it because we talked about the different animals that this might look like. And one of the things that this actually is one of my favorite. What do you see up in the roof of the mouth there?
More teeth.
More teeth. Look at that. So you have teeth here on the jaws, and then you have a whole two sets, an inverted V, of another set of teeth, and those are called pteroglottids. And there's another creature on Earth today that also has pteroglottids, and that's a snake. And the mosasaur is actually most closely related to snakes. And we know this because of those pteroglottids. And then one other feature that's unique to snakes is the fact that it could actually drop that lower jaw like constrictors can. So when they've constricted and they open up that mouth, and he could actually drop that jaw. So that's one of the things that makes us think that he's most closely related to snakes.
That is so interesting. Tell everybody, we're at the Tellus Science Museum. Tell everybody where you're located.
We're here in Cartersville, Georgia, and we are a sister museum to the Booth Western Art Museum. But we're very proudly a Smithsonian associate. We're working very closely with the Smithsonian right now. We have several temporary exhibits coming in, and we have right now Clay to Copper that's running through November. And we're excited about that. Go to our website, and all the details are there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, this is Joe Wilson, co-owner of Parnick Jennings Funeral Home, Cartersville's locally owned funeral home, serving all of Bartow County since 1977. The biggest difference of our funeral home here in Bartow County, Cartersville, is that we are a locally owned funeral home. We make all our decisions right here in the funeral home. When people walk in the door, they're going to meet the owner and know that we're making decisions on what's best for the families that have placed their trust and confidence in us and the needs of our community. One thing we always say to families that place their trust in us is ask a family we have served. We want people to know that when they come here for probably one of the most difficult experiences in their life, that they can feel comfortable with us.
You know, all our family actually comes to Parnett Jennings. You know, once we lose a loved one, we call on them because, you know, they really took care of us in the past. As far as controlling the funeral, the arrangements for the trafficking to the gravesite, everything went perfect and, you know, in order like it needed to be. And, you know, especially with a loved one that you lost, you want things to go like it's supposed to, and they've really done a professional job of doing it.
Prearranging a funeral, it could be probably one of the most important things that you could do for your loved one. You have time to make those decisions in a calm, relaxed atmosphere, and you can lock in the price. In today's economy, you know, price is something that we have to think about. And by making a prearrangement in advance and funding it, you're guaranteeing that those prices will be there and you'll be protected from any future inflation. On behalf of myself and all the staff here at Parnett Jennings Funeral Home, we want you to know it would be our honor to serve your family during your time of need. Please call us at 770-382-0034.
Some neat stuff.
Thank you.
Is this all your stuff? Did you?
Yes, it is. I make everything by hand. There's no molds, no copies.
All right. What is this right here I'm looking at?
This is my mermaid,
Okay.
beer stein. You can do anything with it that you do with a regular beer stein except for throw it in the freezer to make a frosty beer.
Okay.
You can't freeze the mug because it would make the clay and the glass contract and then expand at different rates.
Can I throw it in the dishwasher?
You cannot throw it in the dishwasher, but you're not eating oatmeal out of it. When you drink beer out of it, you just need to rinse it and
Well,
put it away.
do you really want to drink beer out of this anyway, or is this something you just put on the shelf and it's just?
No. They love to be drunk from. You don't want to just let it sit and collect dust.
All right. What other cool stuff you got? Let me show. What is?
This is just one of my baby dragons. They're all up for adoption.
Baby dragon.
Yep, they're looking for forever homes, so you can adopt a dragon,
Okay.
take it home, give it a name.
That is a dragon, isn't it? There's
It
the
is.
there's the head right there. You know that's. And what's this right here?
That is a new hatchling. So he's airing out his wings to dry them out so he can fly.
All right. Why dragons? I mean, where did this come from?
I've just always loved dragons. I guess I just call it my spirit animal.
How long have you been doing this?
Just over a year.
You've only been doing this for a year. This right here. You've only been doing this like right here
Yeah,
for a year.
actually,
Okay.
this is a dragon I made
Okay.
at Agamacon, which is a little fantasy sci-fi con in South Carolina.
Okay.
And I started this while I was sitting at my table at that convention. And it was
Okay.
my third
Where was
dragon
this at
ever.
again?
It's in Aiken, South Carolina in March.
And what is it again? It's a Dragon Con or?
It's a sci-fi fantasy comic con. So if
Okay.
you're into gaming, sci-fi, fantasy, anything of the fandom genre. If you like watching Supernatural, they got something there
And
for
you like that stuff, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But
You made that sitting there?
I made this. I took it home and did the finishing touches at home. But this is something I made a year ago in March, and it was my third dragon. And I just started making dragons at the beginning of the year.
Is that just made from scratch, or is that a mold, or what is that?
No, I start with a lump of clay. Here, I'll show you.
Okay. Oh, this
I
is
start with a
cool.
lump of clay. I can show you how fast I can get the basics done.
Okay.
So this is just polymer clay. I'm
Okay.
gonna roll it to get it to.
Anybody can
together.
buy this clay.
Yeah, they sell it at Michael's. This particular lump is Prima, which is made by Sculpey.
Okay.
It works out easily. It's not too hard. It's not too sticky. It's not like some of them are so soft they're like peanut butter. Others are so hard they bruise your hand.
Okay.
But I'll give him a little neck there and move his snout in.
Okay. It's beginning to look like a dragon.
And on the other end, I'm going to roll out a tail for him.
Okay.
And then maybe pinch along his back to give him a bit of a backbone,
Okay.
to which I may later add ridges or spikes.
Right.
Something. Okay. And start giving his head a little bit more of a shape.
You know, it really is starting to take shape. It really is.
Find his cheek.
Okay. See, people sitting at home, if you want to do something different, this is it right here. And now you sell and you make money doing this.
I do. So I was able to quit my job.
You quit your job because of this?
Yes.
From something you just self-discovered sitting there and just messing around.
It wasn't quite self-discovery. I had a friend who is a sculptor who showed me a few basics right before she left town, and I just kind of went with it from there. Okay. And then just smooth those down so that they don't look like they're just dug into his face.
Right.
It looks more like an actual bone ridge.
Look at that.
And then
The dinosaur's head.
okay. And then because he's flat right here, I'll start shaping the bottom of his
Okay.
chin. And then the devil's just in the details there. I could keep him very simple, or I could make him more detailed.
And when it's all said and done, you'll end up with something like this.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly how this started. It starts off with a lump, and I just keep adding more detail as I go along.
Fascinating meeting you. What's your name?
Valerie,
Nice to meet you, Valerie.
wonderful meeting you too. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you.
The world isn't big enough. My mother's recipe from Camberley, Surrey, England. Made to crumble in your mouth and not stick to your teeth. This is authentic English toffee like you've never had in your life. Baked into my cookies and the best brownie you've ever had in your life for your money back. Crumbled in your coffee in the morning or your ice cream at night, or with a glass of red wine or a stout beer after dinner tonight. That's my story, and this is my song. All right, I'm not gonna sing.
Hi, I'm Holly. Welcome to Reflection Skin and Laser Center. We are a full-service medical spa offering the latest technology in skincare. I am also the nurse. I do the neurotoxins like Botox and Dysport, and also the dermal fillers like Juvederm, Restylane, Radiesse, and I also do sclerotherapy for unwanted spider veins.
Hi, I'm Amy Cheek. I'm the medical esthetician here at Reflections. This is where I do aesthetic work like chemical peels, microdermabrasion, and microneedling.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, and this is where we do the cool sculpting, the Ulthera, and we have an Affirm skin tightening laser as well.
Here we are in the laser room where we do laser hair removal, laser pigment reduction, laser vein treatments. If you have any questions about any of our procedures or products, please call us. All our consultations are free, or you could just stop by. We're located in the West End Commons Shopping Center.
SOS Mattress, best quality, best price, guaranteed. Where can you find a huge selection of high-end mattresses without paying high-end prices? SOS Mattress, best quality, best price, guaranteed. Where can you save 50 to 80% off retail every day? SOS Mattress, best quality, best price, guaranteed. We offer the lowest prices on the best name brand mattresses. SOS Mattress and Clearance Center on Highway 41 in Cartersville, 1 block south of Home Depot.
Long time ago, when the animals could talk to one another and they could talk to the human beings, man, there's a big controversy there about which animals were the best. The animals that flew in the air or the animals that walked on the ground. And they decided they would have what we call a ball play game. The ball play would consist of the old Cherokee way. They would have a ball made out of deer hide. They would have 2 rackets that would chase each other up and down a field. And the first team that scored 21 points by launching it through the goalpost won. So they started early in the morning picking teams, picking sides. Old Bear was the chief. Bear picked deer because deer could run fast. Deer had the horns, the buck deer did. He could knock the ball real good up into the goalpost. Eagle was over the birds, the animals that flew. He picked Hawk because Hawk was quick too. And he went back and forth all during the day. Until late that evening, there was a little leather-winged bat. and it was sitting there by itself. And it kept saying to both teams, I can play, let me play. I want to play, let me play. And Bear said, you can't play. He said, you fly in the air. And he said, oh, I want to play. And he said, well, go check with the birds. Went over and checked with the birds. The birds said, you can't play with us. You have teeth. You don't have feathers, you have fur. You have to play with the animal side. Poor old little leather-winged bat. It was so discouraged. It didn't really know what it was going to do because the bear had already turned him down for the animals. And the eagle had turned him down for the birds. So he went back and he begged the bear. He said, Bear, let me play. He said, they won't let me play on the bird side because they said I have teeth and I have fur. Very well, said the old bear, you can play for us, but you're so small, I don't think there's very much you can do, but you're welcome to play. Well, they started that game off. They threw the ball up in the air, and Eagle grabbed it and took it and scored. Then they threw it up, and before the birds could fly down and grab it, it hit the ground. Bear picked it up, tossed it over to Deer, and Deer scored. And it went back and forth and back all day long until it got dusky dark. And when it got dark, the animals couldn't see the ball. They looked around for it everywhere, but they couldn't find it. And finally they said, since it was the end of the day, they said, the next team that scores will win the contest. And they tossed that ball up in the air, and hardly anybody could see it. But they heard something. They heard the sound of that little leather-winged bat flapping. And that little bat flew, and he grabbed the ball, took it in, and scored, and the animals won. Well, then the little leather-winged bat had to choose what was going to be the punishment for the animals that flew up in the air. And so, Bat said, because y'all have lost this game, your punishment is only going to be, you can only stay up here part of the year. When summer leaves and fall starts coming on, you have to fly south for the winter. And we get to stay up here all the time, the animals do. And sure enough, that was a punishment. And now you know why birds fly south for the winter.
Hi there. Welcome to West End Pharmacy. We're a locally owned pharmacy here in Cartersville. We're independent, not associated with any chains, located conveniently on West Avenue next to the subway.
We specialize in providing great customer service to our customers. Most of our customers wait less than 10 minutes to get their prescriptions filled.
We are located on West Avenue next to Subway, just east of Eagles.
We accept insurance. We have competitive prices for those who do not have it. Come see us and experience the best service in town.
Hi, I'm Kevin Labello. I'm the senior pastor at Sam Jones Memorial United Methodist Church on Church Street in downtown Cartersville. And I'm just here to say Happy Easter to everyone. Easter is just a beautiful time of the year. I think Easter Sunday is my favorite day of the year. Everyone's so happy and joyful. God usually blesses us with wonderful weather. But more than that, it's a time of rejoicing. It's a time of family and celebration. It's a time of dinners. It's a time of Easter egg hunts and chocolate bunnies and the Easter rabbit and all the wonderful things that accompany Easter. And for those of us who have the Christian persuasion, it's even much more than that. It is indeed the most important time of the year. It's a holy day. It's a high and holy day. It's a day that we celebrate the resurrection of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. As you know, on Good Friday, the Friday before Easter, we remember how he was crucified on the cross and placed in a tomb and sealed with a giant rock. And then on Easter Sunday, how the women were coming to the grave to properly anoint his body. They couldn't do that on Friday because it was the Sabbath. So before dawn on Sunday, they came and they were talking about how in the world they were going to roll the giant rock away so that they could anoint his body properly. And the story that Scripture gives us, as the women got to the tomb, they noticed that the stone was already rolled away. And when they peered inside it, the grave was empty. And then we have the wonderful stories of the resurrection appearances of Christ as he came back and told them what had happened, that he had risen from the grave. And there are lots of things I could say, but there's a man who said them much better than me. In the year around 400, there was a fellow named St. John Chrysostom. He was a saint of the church, and he preached what's probably the most wonderful and most popular sermon that's ever been preached in his Easter homily. And it goes something like this: all ye saints and all ye sinners, all ye who are sober and all ye who are slothful, all ye who are rich and all ye who are poor, all of you who are faithful and all of you who are not, rejoice this day, for Christ is risen. And he goes on and says this, that this is a day that angers hell. Hell is angry today because it has been done away with. It's angry today because it's been mocked. It's angry today because it's been annihilated. It's in an uproar today because it has now been made captive. Hell took a body and it discovered God. Death took earth and encountered heaven. It took what it saw and was overcome by what it did not see. O death, where is your sting? O grave, where is your victory? For Christ is risen, and you, O death, are annihilated. Christ is risen, and the evil ones are cast down. Christ is risen, and the angels rejoice. Christ is risen. Christ is risen indeed. Because of Easter, we no longer fear death. We no longer fear the bonds of sin and death, for Christ is risen, and we have new life in him. And because of Easter, we can rejoice this day to know that our life on this earth is not all there is, that because of the death and resurrection of Christ, we might all enjoy life, abundant and eternal. That's a good day. That's a great message. God bless you all. Happy Easter to each and every one of you. And I hope that you can join me in celebrating this day as a day of life and renewal. God bless you all.